I'm not going to join the fellow video makers who are mocking Andy Byron and Kristen Cabot for their affair. I don't want to sit here and say it's unfair what they're doing because when we are in public, we get judged. I have a podcast, I get judged. You're in a kiss cam, you get judged. But what I am here to say is I'm going to take a different perspective than everybody else. So the first two people I want to speak to are actually four people. Andy and Mrs. Byron, Kristen and Mr. Cabot. The world would like to mock you. The world wants to judge you. And yet I will say I'm a relationship expert. I coach people. I've taught pre-marriage counseling. I've taught marital coaching. And I have also worked with people who have been divorced to reconcile. I will say you are not the first to have an affair, and sadly, you won't be the last. But I will say that this video here is to say to you, this does not have to be the end of your marriage. And I beg of you, for the sake of your children, for the sake of your own selves, for the sake of the kingdom, to fight for your marriages. What you did was make a very, very big mistake. But I know this because I made that same mistake 40 years ago myself. I'm not going to say that we are without fault. We are absolutely at fault. But I do say I recognize how even in the middle of a happy marriage, one can fall into a pit. Don't need to go into why I fell into the pit, but I was stupid. I was young. I didn't see the signs and I fell into the pit. And I let my flesh overcome my spirit. Even one raised as a good Catholic girl, I should have known. But I'm not here to judge because I know that you, for some reason, chose to step out of your own marriages. But here's the thing. Because I know you're not the first and I know you're not the last, I'm begging of you to look at your spouses and realize the truths of infidelity. Infidelity, just like when you fell in love with your spouse, begins with this rush of 11 hormones. Well, there was flirting, there were things that took place first. But when these 11 hormones, known as the love cocktail, which I refer to as the lust cocktail when it's an affair, make you think not clearly. From the serotonin, the amphetamine high, the dopamine, the pleasure sensors, to the vasopressin, which is the monogamy hormone. I will tell you, that combination is deadly. The monogamy hormone alone tells you, I never felt this way about my spouse. So for Mrs. Cabot and, for Mr. Cabot and Mrs. Byron, who are the victims of this, I want to ask you just right now, for the moment, a little bit of forgiveness, saying, okay, this is the stupidity that they fell into. Now, I'm not here to tell you guys to do the work. Hear me out. But what I am here to say is most people that have affairs feel as if, because of the physiological changes, that they love this other person more than they ever loved anyone else, which of course includes their spouse. It's not true. And I want to say that so that all four of you know this. I want to say this because those hormones will wear off, but it will take work. Now, here's the good thing about being caught on a kiss cam at a Coldplay concert. Because of the trauma that quickly was inflicted on you, because of the public nature of what you were doing was going to inflict on your families, it immediately causes those hormones to be overridden by the humiliation, by the shame, by the publicness, the publicity of your affair. See, sometimes when people have affairs and they even really want to work for their marriages, they still have to deal with those hormones falling back into place so that they can logically see their spouse, which means even though you want to work things out with your spouse, there are times where you're thinking about the other woman or the other man, even though you may not want to. The good thing about what happened to you is that the whole world knows. You can't lie, you can't hide, and those hormones will go down very quickly. What I'm asking of your spouses is, even though they hurt you, is first to forgive your spouse. Second, forgive the other woman or the other man, and know that he or she is dealing with trauma as well. It is said, and I am one that can prove it to you, that marriages that have never struggled are not nearly as happy as those who have struggled and have succeeded. When you make it through this, your marriage can and will be very happy. But you have to fight your butts off to get there. Satan wants your marriages to fail. He was thrilled when you were caught on that kiss cam. But Jesus wept, and he wants you to reconcile. He wants you to forgive yourselves, forgive each other, do what is good and right and holy, and selflessly turn yourselves back to your spouses. When I finished my affair, I didn't go back to my husband. He came back to me a couple years later and asked for reconciliation. I hadn't even considered it because, after all, I had told everybody we weren't compatible and I loved this other person more. All the lies. But it was his humility that asked me to come back and was persistent that caused me to do it because it was the good and the right thing. I would be willing to talk to any of you privately. Of course, no one would ever know, and help you fight for your marriages. It's what I do. I also want to say to your children, I'm sorry. The world is mocking your parents. Please don't hate them. Please forgive them. And please recognize that when you are adults, you're going to make some bad choices too. You're going to want forgiveness. But more so than that, forgive the other teenagers and so-called friends of yours that may be hurting you. I'm sorry that they all know about your family's private matters. That has got to devastate you because you are truly 100% innocent victims. And I want your parents to know that even though society says don't stay together for the kids, absolutely you stay together for the kids, because it is the selfless thing to do. And marriage is all about selflessness. Marriage is all about the two becoming one, about the two shaving off the other person's flaws and failings and coming closer together. In your love, in your marriage bed, you created those children. And they were created out of love. And there's no one that will ever replace you for that child should you decide to divorce and marry another. It is unnatural for a child to see his mother in bed with another man or his father in bed with another woman. Yes, thousands of people watching this have done that and say it's okay because, I got an annulment, or this one's better for me, or the kids like him or her. They treat the kids right. It's unnatural. At the solid root for every human being is to know that their mother and their father, the two people who came together and created them out of love, are the two people still together, showing them how to love and how to fight through difficulties. Parents, Cabots, Byrons, stay together for your children. And I think God allowed this so that the trauma of being caught wouldn't even allow you to lie anymore. I do say I did read the letter that Andy Byron wrote, and it did smack of humility. And I think that's going to go far. The people that see you are your family. People are going to judge you. Who cares? Take the hits. It's what I tell my standers. Standers are the people who are standing for marital reconciliation while their spouse is having an affair, divorcing them, annulling their marriage. I say, take the hits. Take it for the kingdom, because what you find out is that you get up, and each time you get up faster, and the hit hurts just a little bit less than it did the time before. You teenagers are learning a hard lesson. I pray that God surrounds you with other true friends who shield you from the mocking that other people will give you or your parents. But you can do this. Allow this to make your family stronger. Funny thing is you get a podcast and you get mocked, you get judged, you have people call you names. I've been called that blonde chick. What the heck does she think she's saying? Stuff like that. And I have found that the more I hear that, the less it matters. Most pain, fear, decisions in our lives are based on what other people think about us. Think about it. I don't know if I should say such and such. So and so might think this. Or if I wear this, people are going to think that. Or if I go here, people might think that I'm doing. Or if I say this to my spouse, they might think. Think. It's always what other people think. Do you know how freeing it is if you make your decisions without worrying about what other people think? Someone is always going to judge you. Someone's always going to hate you. And people will bring up this affair decades later. But it won't hurt once you've forgiven each other. It might pinch a little, but it might draw you closer. Please, please, for the sake of your families, stay together. For the sake of God's kingdom, I don't know if you're Christians or not, but you need to be. For the sake of the kingdom of God, people are watching. I always say that people are watching you. In your case, you know people are watching you. And they've watched you make this big mistake. Imagine how souls can be saved when they watch you reconcile. And they watch you standing arm in arm saying, this didn't get us down. Because then another person who's having an affair, another person whose marriage is failing, another person will look at you and say, they could make it. I can make it. When you die and you face God, yes, you'll have to answer for this sin. But imagine if what the Lord says to you afterward is, but look at when you reconciled. Look at all those people that reconciled because of you. Look at all those kids who did better. Look at how your children did better because you stayed together amidst the humiliation. This can tear you apart, or this can draw you so close together because you're in this alone. You're technically not in it alone because I'm here to support you. Look me up, Christine at breakfastwithbacon.com. Go to my website, breakfastwithbacon.com. Comment here on the video. You can do something private. Don't comment on the video. They'll know who you are. But I'd love to help you work through your marriage. My goal before I die is to save 1 million marriages, which is really saving 1 million souls. Let yours be one of them. You failed, but it doesn't mean you have to stay down. All of you, all 4 of you adults, and all of you children, you can get back up. You're stronger than you think. Do not let Satan win this battle. Power's in your hands. With the grace of God, you can do this. You can do anything. Thanks for listening to this informational bacon bit. And as always, remember to live your life sunny side up.